Welcome
to
to
the Amoraea podcast, where we have guests in intimacy space, relationship space, and we talk about how typology affects your relationship with other people. And if you're interested in that, go to www.amoraea.com. And today we have Louis Brentmeyer, a best-selling author, relationship and dating coach, expert in attachment styles as well. Why don't you introduce yourself?
Hey, yeah. So
Let's take
I
that.
have been working on dating and relationships for hmm, almost 20 years, actually. I grew up socially awkward, anxious, a nerd, diagnosed with autism, and I suffered, struggled, stressed, strained, went through lots of suicidal depressions, and eventually invested lots of money, energy, and time into first dating and relationships through the pickup artist community,
Me too.
which we could talk about, and then through Landmark and Earthwaking and other places into emotional, spiritual, and relational intelligence. And I'm far more interested in that these days. But yeah, man, it's good to be here.
Yeah, fascinating story. It really mirrors mine because I've also been in pickup artist industry and I was also very socially awkward
Hmm,
and all these things. And for me, the pickup artist industry really helped me break out of my shell. I know it has some problems, right?
lots of problems.
Manipulative and this what and whatnot. But for me, it really helped me, go for it and like approach women in environments and areas where I was just fucking scared because I couldn't talk to anyone, right? And I
Hmm.
was very introverted and shy. And then, like you, I had a spiritual awakening and started to realize how manipulative it is, and really just started to love myself and found tools to navigate myself.
I'm curious if you think there's anybody active in the industry now who is actually healthy and aligned, like spiritually and emotionally.
I actually think a lot of them are.
Really?
I'm not like super deep in the industry anymore,
Because Ross Jeffries
but
is probably not.
yeah, Ross
Eric
Jeffrey's
Von Däniken,
mystery,
no.
probably not.
Neil Strauss, maybe.
I
He's
think
still
he's
putting out
better,
stuff, but
but what
he got
I
a divorce. You read the truth, and then he gets a divorce
Yeah, The
afterwards. And it's
Truth is
like
a good book.
he worked his bias. I signed that to you. I coached Matthew
Yeah,
in
I was
dating.
actually in his relationship
Yeah, yeah, it
container
was
when it
great.
was he was starting. It was good.
I believe you cried when you read that
Yeah,
book.
I did cry a little bit.
Yeah.
It's pretty tough to make me cry
Cheers.
because I'm a man's man.
Now that you've got that
Yeah, man's
goatee.
man. But
That
no,
makes
it's good to cry. I don't mean to, put that message out there. But no, it actually his book, his two books, The Game and The Truth, actually reflects the pickup artist industry because for me, like you have to realize where it started, right? Like a lot of guys were socially awkward, not confident. Like there was
being
nothing
passed over by attractive women,
society
yeah, and
in attractive
wanting a
women.
chance that they
Yeah,
didn't have intrinsically already because they didn't have the muscles, they didn't have the money,
exactly. And even if they did have the muscles,
they didn't have the Mercedes.
they're still socially awkward.
Yeah.
So that's extremely, unattractive to women. And the advice out there was just complete shit. It was like, be yourself, be
Be a
nice,
nice
do these
guy.
things, be a nice guy. And so men were just like, men knew that didn't work because they've tried it.
Hmm.
And so of course men are gonna find tactical ways, logical ways to figure it out. And that's what I did.
So here's my question about your app.
Shoot.
Is it not true that approaching women live in person will always be actually more efficient statistically, probabilistically, as a way to actually initiate real conversations than swiping on an app?
Absolutely. Like
Really?
if you're replacing meeting real people with even my app, like delete my app and go meet people. My app is just a way to, what online dating does, in
Hmm.
my perspective, is it lets you, it's more efficient because you can be at home and swiping.
Hmm.
Now, if that's replacing real life people, I wouldn't recommend that
Yeah, because
because
we need social
that,
nutrition.
yeah. And also my app matches you with aligned people. Now you can find aligned people in yoga studios or wherever, whatever you like. That's also true.
Mm.
But you can talk to girls there and there's still not alignment because you're just aligning on an interest, which is
Well,
ultimately
you're
this sort
increasing the statistical chance that the alignment will be maintained because
right,
it might be
because
easier to start the conversation in person and get attention that way. Maintaining the attention, you got the gene keys, you got the human design, you got the wealth dynamics, I imagine, you got the Vedic astrology. You
Right.
find somebody who's a match with you on all of those aspects.
Exactly. And you may not find that person in a yoga studio. It just might take you more time.
Mm,
But I think what approaching women does do in real life is you can be completely aligned in everything.
hmm
But if you don't have the tools, if you don't know how to flirt, if you don't know how to attract, enchant, then it's also not going to work because you need especially as a man, you need to move the interaction forward.
Yeah.
You need to flirt, you need to escalate all these things. So you also need to know how to do that. So my main message is like, don't just because there's an app out there like Amoraea, it doesn't replace learning social skills and
hmm
charisma and flirting skills
Yeah.
because you can only learn in real life.
hmm Cool.
Yeah. So for you, I'm super curious how you went from socially awkward to who you are now. Like, what were like the biggest things that helped you the most? Because I
There's
feel like
a
a lot of people can resonate with that.
yeah, there's a pretty long journey. I'm parsing it out in my head. It's basically I didn't know what I didn't know about what I was missing at first.
Mhm.
So I was super suppressed Catholic until about senior year of high school, when a friend of mine who had helped to convert from Protestantism to Catholicism became an atheist, which was like our social circle kind of took a big hit. It was like, I don't know about this guy anymore. And it was like, well, actually, no, he's got something good to, he's serious about all this. So let me follow him into his direction. And then I read The Game. This is like 2006, 2007. I was a senior in high school. It was well, I didn't really know what the heck I was doing. Like I had gone
Me too.
awkwardly to high school dances, and I'd maybe had girls come with me to like Bible studies and stuff, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And so when I read The Game, it unlocked me because it was like, oh, there's something you can do here that makes sense.
Mhm.
Like there's actually a series of steps. And
Give
I
you hope.
yeah, and I bought Mystery Method. I think it was like a bootleg $200 off of eBay, and I watched his DVDs, and it I was never disciplined enough to apply really
Mhm.
his stuff, but yeah, I think it was like a year or two later a friend of mine introduced me to Gunwitch Method. Also didn't apply that.
I've not heard of that one.
Oh yeah, Gunwitch, Alan Reyes. His whole method is get into sexual state and approach women
I think that's good advice.
and express your authentic sexual desire.
Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't go up to women and say, "Hey, I want to fuck you," but I
No, but
think
if
there's a
you can get
way
into a
to,
sexual vibe, if
yeah, the
he's resonant and
vibe,
receptive, yeah,
everything you say is now sexual because you have that undertone of sexuality, right?
like this. Would you like a carrot?
I'm kind of turned on right
I'm
now, to
just
be
kidding. No,
honest.
I did a SF pattern recently with somebody at a festival as a demonstration, and she was so lit up as a Discovery Channel pattern,
Okay.
which you maybe remember from. Okay, well, so it wasn't until I really encountered um, Ross Jeffries in Speed Seduction. So he's probably one of the top teachers in neurolinguistic programming, like on the planet, because NLP people come to his dating seminars to learn NLP,
Yeah.
like to model off of him, to model, if that makes sense, like
Yeah.
to algorithmatize his expression. And it was like 2009 when I got his Speed Seduction 3.0, and I watched that thing three times, and I had dreams of it, like because it was changing my brain. And I wrote my own patterns and I used them with this woman who I technically lost my virginity to a couple years before. Um, and it revved her up. Like she got really turned on by it. And then we were in a relationship again, which was funny and interesting because this particular woman, I broke up with her because she was like nagging and we didn't share interests. So what she did in the intervening years was change herself to fit those interests. And I didn't plan that. I didn't desire that, but she was actually a much cooler person to me.
Don't do that.
Don't do that. Yeah, again, I didn't do that. I didn't have her do that, but she did that of her own will and volition. So, yeah, I started lightly practicing SS, but I wasn't really serious about it. See, I was never really serious about pickup.
And
I
that's
just,
just a speed seduction.
yeah, speed seduction, and I just really wanted a girlfriend. So I would get a girlfriend, and then I would put everything away for a while, and um. So I had a couple relationships between her and this one who was a cocktail waitress. Uh, really the most attractive woman I'd ever met up to that point. And that was so I was studying philosophy, and then I went back into the SS material and got up to date stuff. And so I took a
Mhm.
whole semester where I was taking like one class, it was like computer science or something. And then the rest of my time was spent on campus flirting with women. And again, I had no balls and no boldness compared to where I am now back then because I wasn't excited. I wasn't eager to escalate. So if a
Mhm.
man has a sexual desire, he has every right at any time, with consent, reading the room, making sure she's receptive and aligned, to move the interaction forward, not just in terms of connection, but in terms of sexuality. Um, Now, as a relationship coach, when I put that hat on, I'm like, I'm not sure because you're either making a choice about what woman or what situation you're chasing from your wholeness or from a wound. So most people who just want sex are operating from a wound most of the time.
Mhm.
Even if they're spiritualized in the tantra community, whatever, like, oh yes, I let me do a yoni massage on you. No, they just really want to lick your pussy or fuck you or something. I mean, it's like just say that. Be honest, and you're putting spiritual window dressing in order to feel better about it. But so that semester was really revealing. And then I attracted this woman, and then she and I had a breakup, and I got really depressed. And a friend of mine, Madison, who I recently we reconnected, she invited me to her graduation for her communications course. I was like, all right, cool. So it's 3.5 hours to go from New Orleans to Houston, and I land there, and I'm sad as fuck. And she stands up and she looks at me in the front of the room. She introduces me as her guest and says, "This is Lewis, and he is my best friend." And I was like, I'm somebody's best friend. Like whatever it was she's having, I want that. And so that this was an introduction to the Landmark Forum. And I signed up for the
Uh-huh.
Landmark Forum, and I started to get aware of all the ways in which my ego was and my incompletion and my limiting beliefs and other stuff were ruling and running me. And so it was really interesting to start to care about people. And um within the next 2 months, that probably as a model and an actress, some of the most attractive women I'd ever been attracted to in college, I was just authentic with her and escalated, and we had sex, and it was the coolest thing. And then we had this quasi relationship for a while. Um, so that was what Landmark did. It helped me improve my game. But I got obsessed with what I called the Nova Project. Did I ever tell you about this?
No.
It was about helping men become Casanova. And so me and a dear friend, I introduced him to most of the stuff that I'd had. And we were working on trying to uh, build our own system. And he got so good that he would go to bars and he tried out his own stuff. And it really astounded me because I've had this experience many times in my coaching career of lighting a fire in people and giving them the right resources. And then I'm like Wile E. Coyote and they're like the Roadrunner. And I'm like, wait, what? I should be able to do what happened? So that was a thing. And yeah, this is actually really revelatory for me because there's so many pieces and parts that if I had the right coaches, I could more deeply integrate into myself. But long story short, it was mostly like suicidal depressions after breakups that spurred me to write books, to try and figure out what had gone like out in terms of relationships. And
Mhm.
so the most recent one, which I know you had me on because you want me to talk about, is attachment theory,
Yeah.
right? So whether you know it, like it, agree with it, believe it or not, at the nervous system level, we have circuits that are seeking to connect to other people. We want secure bases and safe havens. So our parents are the first ones. And there's a spectrum of different ways in which we're organized, such such that when we attach to someone, we behave in certain ways. So there's more anxious, there's more avoidant, and then there's disorganized. So you can illustrate these types for your typology um, through what's called the strange, or excuse me, I guess it's the strange situation experiment. So they took a mother and a child, actually many mothers and children, but they brought the mother and the child into a room and they separated the mother and the child. The mother leaves the room. And there's several different responses, at least three, that children have based on how they've been attached. One is the child gets really loud, obnoxious, and aggressive and starts crying. It's like, where's mommy? Where's mommy? Where's mommy? Um, this is anxious attached, basically. Somebody
Hmm.
who wants a lot of attention, who's always leaning in, who's always reaching for. They're really good at creating connection because they really hunger for it. Then there's the child who the mother leaves, and they're like they appear to be fine, but you take stress tests of them, like of what's going on neurologically and at their nervous system level. They're like
Hmm.
highly stressed, but they're just like pushing it down.
Hmm.
This is the avoidant attached. They have learned that in order for them to be okay, they need to lean back and pretend they don't care and
Hmm.
or avoid allowing the expression of the depth of what they want in connection. Um, or create strategies to just entertain and thrive on their own. And then my favorite one is the third kid, operates just like the second one. And except after the parent comes back in, after a certain duration of time where they look like they're just fine, they walk up to the mother and they slap them in the face or on the leg or something. Mm.
That's the best one.
That's the disorganized attachment style, which I tried to date someone with one of those last year, and it went pretty much that way. Well, okay, maybe I didn't handle her effectively, but
More on that later.
no, probably not. That was a year ago. That was almost exactly a year ago. Anyway, so these attachment styles, uh, and then there's securely attached, which is like
The
unicorns.
best.
Yeah, they're not overpendulated and leaning too far in or leaning too far back or being
Hmm.
aggressive and violent. Um, they are, and the guy in the book attached, because I've studied under some of the top people in attachment theory on the planet. I'm not the top. Damian Bowler, highly recommend. Follow him on Facebook. He's brilliant. Evolutionary relating or something. I took his secure course last year and started his boundaries course recently. And he's been studying this stuff since it came out. So he's got the deepest well of knowledge and awareness in these distinctions. And he and I were talking early last year about what I had uncovered in the book Attached, The New Science of Adult Attachment, which have you read this?
Yeah, I've read that
It's
one.
really good. There's a bias against avoidance in that book. It's really strong.
Yeah, a lot of people hate avoidance, it seems,
Yes.
because they hurt a lot of people.
Well, arguably anxious attached people hurt a lot of people too by pushing too hard, too
Hmm.
fast, for too much. And the person who I love most, who I've been following, and he was on my podcast on the Make Love Easy podcast uh recently. I just realized this recording. I have to tell them this. This is also the Make Love Easy podcast. Welcome, 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 where we help heart-centered men have great relationships, sex, and intimacy. Um,
Thanks.
so
Thanks for that.
yeah, you're welcome because we're recording at the same time. Um, Joshua Michael Wenner, he was quoting the Gottmans. Do you know the Gottmans?
Hmm.
So they're big, the couple who've been studying relationships that thrive in marriages for decades, and they say one of the biggest predictors of longevity in relationship is can you choose your partner with their nervous system as it is,
Hmm.
and then just say, hey, I'm willing to keep walking with you anyway. And so like there's stuff like body electronics or somatic experiencing or um, whatever else that can help to remove whatever traumas might bias the nervous system in the direction of one attachment style or another. And I have a speculation, it's a hypothesis. I haven't been able to test it this year because it's just not been wisdom's way for me to do a bunch of body electronics. But if I were to do enough, I think that whatever in my nervous system led to that could be removed, and then I could receive secure attachment with the divine, with God.
Hmm.
Because love doesn't come from people, it comes through people when you tune to it. And it's okay to have love from people so long as that love doesn't have you. And to the degree that your nervous system is biased towards anxious, avoidant, disorganized, then your nervous system still has you. And it's a subtle like distortion on the very simple natural attachment circuitry, which has us look around in our environment for people who give a shit about us and bond to them so that we don't die alone on our own without like resources or survival. And like it's good to have a secure base of attachment, somebody who you can rely on. And I've actually in the past year become much more close with my mom and my brother. And I've trained them because we train other people on how to treat us by how we treat ourselves. Right. So I've trained them. This is how it works for me. If you could show up for me in this way, and my mom's just she's become super like religious in a deeper way, but her heart is also opened in the past like 5 years or something. And so my secure bases of attachment, my attachment figures are my actual family.
Mhm.
So my felt need to reach for a relationship with a partner has diminished, and my standards for allowing someone to have sex with me or to be in relationship with me have raised. And sure, there are moments where I'm just like, man, it'd be cool to just have sex. But, and I'm almost done with this tangent. Here, what I learned was whether you know it, like it, agree with it, believe it or not, if you're choosing to have sex with someone, there's a chance your attachment circuitry may switch on and you may latch on to them at a subconscious level, regardless of what frame or container or agreements or intentions you hold. Oh, this is just fuck buddies. Oh, this is just friends with benefits. Like, because that's exactly what happened to me with my last girlfriend. We started off as friends with benefits, and then within a couple months, because we were subtly, subconsciously extracting the nutrition of love and connection through the sexual relationship, we eventually realized, oh, well, let's just be together. And then we were
Mhm.
together, but it was chaotic because we started polyamorous, not realizing we both actually really wanted monogamy.
Mhm.
And Polysecure is a really great book on this whole aspect because different attachment styles deal with polyamory in different ways and need to be dealt like danced with a certain amount of intelligence and sensitivity. And the ideal would be for someone to remediate for like body electronic or somatic experience or whatever their way through to security before getting into polyamory. Because otherwise, you're asking for a shit show. Um, but long story short, last thought here. Uh, so many people are pursuing the nutrition of a relationship and intimacy through sexuality, not realizing that they are doing it and
Mhm.
telling themselves it's something different. At most, and this is a hypothesis as well, but it's my best model, most people's self-perceived sexual needs are really unmet spiritual and emotional needs. So it's like a category mistake. It's
Mhm.
like it's like trying to solve an internal problem with an external solution. It can never work, which is why love doesn't come from people, it comes through people when you tune to it. Where do you tune to it? Inside of you as a and it's a spiritual experience of fundamental well-being that you can tap into, plug into, activate, receive, reveal, unveil. And once you've gotten there, once you've ground into that, what becomes available is, as I'm starting to experience this freedom of choice from a lack of scarcity and a somewhat of an abundance mindset. Now, don't get me wrong, there's still abundance mindsets I'm building, right? I'm not surrounded by nines and tens all the time
Mhm.
with them clamoring for me, but through the nervous system work, what I've been shown and told is that eventually your nervous system, because you've remediated for the trauma, becomes such a safe space where women start to lean in because you're there. And like Sean Connery, when he as James Bond walks in the first scene of From Russia with Love, and all the women's head turn because they
Mhm.
can feel him even though they don't uh, see him. And so I think that's the ideal for the confident lover, if we're talking make love easy.
Mhm.
And so here's where I'll tie it in for your stuff. Like no matter what, someone like they do all this work, they can manifest partners, and that's what I teach. And if your app is actively and intentionally looking for people who are A, sensitive, conscious, B, and C, like aligned on all these characteristics, then it fits with what people like. There's the Integral Handbook for Relationships. Have you read this?
Maybe.
I think you would love it. It's I started it, but it's a real Steel Genius tome. Like he goes through
Uh-huh.
levels and colors and shit. And I was just like, this is boring. This is not really helping me become better at relationships. But if I had someone who was willing to read the entire book and categorize themselves Like it's another axis for categorizing people through your app.
Mhm.
And anyway, long story short, if you find somebody who's at the same level of development as you, I hope you're bringing in spiral dynamics with this thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
yeah,
great.
I am.
So then it would save people time. It would definitely
Yeah,
save people time. And there's a dearth. I'll say this, and then you can tell me whatever you hear because I'm on a lot of
it's
supplements and I'm
good.
going really
Go ahead.
fast and
It's good.
telling a lot. Um, so I do lots of biohacking and stacking, and I've discovered a new stack. CoQ10 is really great with sunflower lecithin and other stuff. But uh, when it comes to where was I? I was going to say something about apps. Oh yeah, Tinder sucks. When one of our mutual friends, who was a dating photographer for dating apps, recently admitted publicly that he can't help people anymore, basically, because of how the algorithms have changed. So it's biased against probably almost everybody except for that like top 1% of most
Hmm.
attractive men and most attractive women who get a it's like the 80/20, but it's like 199 instead
Yeah,
rule where they get most of the results and the rest of us get nothing.
it's a pay to win.
Yeah, it's a pay to win.
Because like so many people are using Boost now, so many people have premium, and if you're really rich and you want to, you can just keep buying super swipes, keep buying Boost, and you're just always on top. And
Yeah.
there's enough rich people who are willing to do that that women only see those types of men.
Yeah, so you've really looked into this industry. I love that. Sounds like you've done serious research to make your app different.
Yeah. Well, I mean that's just a theory. I haven't like looked at the statistics of how many people are buying whatever.
And there's stuff in a black box like these companies are not going to
Yeah, they're not
reveal.
gonna tell you, but that's what I theorize is happening.
Sounds like a great reason for some corporate espionage.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
But really, they just want your money, especially men. Like
Yeah,
they know men pay.
yeah.
They'll pay for sex. It's a sex app essentially. It's a hookup app. So like sex
It
sells.
never worked that well. It did very briefly work for me that way in 2015.
Uh,
Yeah. And then that was before I knew that I had the nervous system that I do and the heart that I have. So I
mhm.
would fall in love with these women after they would have sex with me, and then they would ghost because they wanted a casual thing, and I was like really needy and other stuff. So um,
So
go
it's
ahead.
someone
Yeah.
who's great stuff by the way.
Thank you. You're
Someone
welcome.
who's someone who just wants casual sex. What attachment style do you think they would have?
So let's give them the answer for what to do first.
Okay.
Like, if somebody wants casual sex, do your fucking work first, or else you'll hurt you or someone else. Sorry. That's real simple. It's real important. Because if you unite to the love that never leaves inside of you, and you remediate for your nervous system's bias, then you can conduct yourselves in a conscious way.
Hmm.
Now, there's no way to tell that someone has a specific attachment style just because they want casual sex. They could be anxious. They could be avoidant. They could be disorganized. And then there's like a fourth one that Damien talks about that I forgot until just now, but I don't remember the name of it exactly. There's like anxious avoidant, and then there's like
Like
fearful.
preoccupied?
There's
Something pre
preoccupied anxious, and then there's like fearful anxious or something. Anyway, um, long story short, let's look at polyamory, right? Polyamory can be an avoidant attachment deactivation strategy. So there are strategies we use, there are behaviors we engage in when we're kids in order to get back the connection that is ours by birthright, activated and channeled through our nervous system,
Mhm.
right? So in the case of the kid who's got anxious attachment, hyper vigilant protest behaviors, loud, obnoxious, and aggressive. And I've had this thing where if it's like a client or a friend or a lover, whatever, sometimes I'll shift into behaviors that look like that. Like, I need you to pay attention to me so I can feel safe again, so that I can trust that there's a secure base, so I'm
Mhm.
not alone on the planet. And sometimes that's turned into me being a villain. Like, pay attention to me. What the fuck? And so I've had to work very hard to get a hold on that and manage that. But long story short, uh, what I experienced in polyamory when I was with people who were avoidant attached is that they were doing a similar thing from the opposite side. So avoidant attached, and there's this you remember the avoidant, anxious, vicious cycle,
Hmm.
where the anxious is leaning in and the avoidant's leaning back, and the more the anxious leans in, the more the avoidant leans back, and the more
Very
they,
painful
it's
relationship.
extremely painful for both of them. So, mm, if someone is, I'd say someone practicing polyamory is more likely a sign of avoidant attached than someone pursuing casual sex.
Hmm. Why is that?
Because you can, if your nervous system's uncomfortable because someone's offering you too much intimacy, you can just turn off the discomfort of that by opening another pathway
Hmm.
and leaving the spotlight of that intimacy for a second or for however long with another partner. So I can say this, every woman I've dated who was open to polyamory was also avoidant attached. And there was even a relationship coach who I had cyber sex with a year ago. And she, to the best of my ability to perceive, was avoidant attached. And what that means is their minds come up with a really great strategy and structure for extracting the nutrition they need without ever having to be truly, completely vulnerable to someone. Because if I'm with someone and they're my only partner, what if they do something that upsets me? Or what if
Hmm.
they disappear? What if they appear to abandon me? Because both the avoidant and the anxious are afraid of loss of connection. They just deal with it in different ways. And so the avoidant like puts love at arm's length and pushes it to the side and puts distance and boundaries in place. Polyamory is one of those boundaries for a lot of people. Like, oh, well, if this one breaks, I'll just have a spare.
Hmm.
I mean, like, but they wouldn't consciously think of it that way because the nervous system plays out in a subtle bias behind how we think, act, speak, behave. And I didn't see it until see part of this book, Creation Ship's Inception. And anybody who wants a free copy, it's yours. I'll give you the audiobook just for listening to me on this podcast. But that book was like me looking back through my most recent relationship and saying, "Oh, that was attachment theory. That was attachment theory.
Hmm.
That was attachment theory. I've got this nervous system. She's got this nervous system." And desperate, and it was ironic because it was still a hyperactive protest behavior. It was just very subtle and very elegant and very refined and became a bestseller. Like I was trying to wave in a loud way to my former partner, "Hey, do you see that you're operating out of avoidant attachment and we can just ignore that and go back to where we were?" But she had already fallen asleep at the wheel of her ego in that way, and so she went into creating another sex partner, creating another going back with
Hmm.
her ex-boyfriend who she had sex with while we were together and polyamorous, but without telling me. And it was chaotic.
But would you say those are the excuses an avoidant would make? You
What?
said they
Which
make
piece?
they make you didn't say excuses, but you said they make the ego makes up stories or something to defend so they can have more connection. And so would they
Well,
sleep
so
with
they can
someone
have
else and
connection
have
on their terms. Yeah, is
yeah.
more a better way of saying it. Like they're not willing to let in the connection. Well, I don't know. I'm not gonna overgeneralize from my recent experience,
Uh-huh.
but they're fundamentally unavailable to allow in the depth of intimacy that someone like an anxious attached or formerly in the past from anxious attached nervous system could offer them.
An avoidant.
Yeah. Yeah,
Mhm.
because they're always afraid of being abandoned, so they put everybody at a distance to a certain degree
Mhm.
so that they don't have to ever be vulnerable to experience the pain of that abandonment
Right, they're
as a
avoiding pain.
potential or as an experience. And God forbid you actually activate that through appearing to abandon them, it's game over.
Mhm.
Um, for at least that was my experience with several different women. But yes, I mean we've got a paved path for you to heal your nervous systems. Body electronic somatic experiencing, Joshua Michael Wenner.
Uh-huh.
Um,
So would you say that's the only way? So I'm sure a lot of viewers can empathize. Oh, I'm an avoidant or I'm anxious, just based on what you said. So what should one do if they realize they're one of them? Is it just somatic work, or would like stuff like inner child healing and belief work, or is it
I mean,
purely?
it can all help. I won't say I've got it solved for myself, but I will say I've got my own patterns in my sights and got a grasp on them enough to be aware and to not be really like tortured by them.
Mhm.
Um, because the ultimate, again, is like cultivating earned secure attachment in yourself and earned secure attachment with God. Now, interestingly enough, when I was in the pickup artist community, I had earned avoidant attachment because I was anxious, pretending to be avoidant so that I could get laid more, so that I could be safe in relationship and always
Right.
be have this air of superiority within myself, so that I wouldn't have to hurt again. Um, but earned secure attachment, you can behave your way into it, but it'll still take a lot. Like in Landmark, they talk about you always got this autopilot programming. So that's just your story. That's just your strong suit. Well, what we find out is that those stories and those strong suits arise from emotional holding and nervous system dysregulation and incompletions from one's past, whether in this
Hmm.
lifetime or previously. So if you go to the root, then those stories, those behaviors, those biases just won't be there. Um, so that's my highest recommendation is go to the deepest depth of the root. But if you want to read attached or you want to go see Damian Bowler's trainings and like start to say, well, this is where I'm starting with today, and with my current capacity, I can manage these behaviors and feel into myself and honor myself as I am. Like that's probably going to be part of the solution because even he talks about how these nervous system styles, these types, you're not condemned to them, um, but there's an extent to which you always be them.
Hmm.
Like I'll always be good at creating connection in a way because I've had to reach for it, or I felt like I had to reach for it because mom was beaten by dad and she was unavailable for connection. So I became anxious and felt the need to lean in more and grab more attention so that I could get what I needed and survive. And like those patterns, those skills, those capacities aren't just going to go away, even if I end up secure. So why not use them?
Hmm.
Um, Sort of like in wealth dynamics, which I really hope you have wealth dynamics in the thing too, because those have been really useful for me. What I've found is a blaze genius fits with a steel genius really well, generally speaking. My last partner was a mechanic. The profile of the mechanic. Then you look at John and Kirk and Earthwaking. There's a dynamo and a tempo genius. They fit really well. Um, Heck, I think Mel might be a tempo genius too. But
They fit well in relationship and business. It's the same.
yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
I didn't know that also applied to relationships, like
yeah.
romantic relationships.
Though Kirk and John are not in a romantic relationship, obviously. These are friends of ours. Um, I
But
went
if they
to.
did, they would be good together.
They would be great. They would be great. That's
Maybe
those
we tell them that.
strange to imagine. Maybe they'll hear this podcast someday. No, I don't think they would ever. But um,
We'll clip it for them.
yeah, fine, fine. Because, and it also makes sense. Your app makes fundamental sense in terms of, and here's why, in terms of survival and reproduction value, right? Because if let's just take wealth dynamics. Wealth dynamics is based on basically a snapshot of your current neural topography, expresses verbal and self-reports in tests. It determines which pathway is your easiest flow into wealth, the path of least resistance, the path that if you follow it, it'll be like eating a bunch of cake in a cake eating contest, and the reward is eating more cake, right? So for me, it's speaking, teaching, training, shining, sharing, being on podcasts.
I love their rhymes.
Yeah, me too, man. It just happens. So, as a star profile, right? So star, and then
A little more extroverted.
yeah, more
Yeah.
extroverted, and then there's the steel genius, which is
A little more
much a
introverted,
lot more
like
introverted.
spreadsheet. Yeah,
Loves kicking the tires when you try to sell them something and
yes, we're
investigating
experienced with
it from
that.
all
Yeah.
angles and asking how it works. And
We like systems. That's why I'm building an app that's based on systems,
it's
because
a
that's where
really
the
great
ingrained
place for him to use his
works.
genius. Yeah.
Yeah, it's where my genius is. So I take all these systems, put together, and see how they
He's going to build
fit
a system
together.
of systems. In
Yeah,
fact,
exactly.
remind me because I've got a document called System of Systems, your system of systems,
Really.
and it gives you places to go take these different tests for typologies, so you can
Hmm.
discern, including love cards, which you should also include in your
Yeah,
app.
I think isn't that part of astrology
It's a
based on
version of
astrology?
Vedic astrology. Have you
Okay.
talked to THRU yet about Vedic astrology?
No, I haven't.
He's brilliant. I can connect you. He's the best Vedic astrologer that I've
I will look to.
encountered, and have him on the podcast because
Yeah.
he read me my life in very fine,
Mm.
pristine, delightful detail that reflected my heart and my dharma back to me, and I was like, wow. So like, maybe your app isn't just helping people to date. Maybe it's like a bespoke concierge service where someone has a full-on spiritual transformation available before they even match with someone else.
Yeah. I mean,
Because,
you would learn so much about yourself just doing the tests.
yeah,
It's like
doing
this is
these
all about
tests.
you. Yeah.
Yeah,
This is
and
what you want.
I think it also should be like each individual test, not just a meta test, because I don't think the meta test could capture with fidelity what the genius and profile
Hmm.
test does in wealth dynamics or what your Vedic
Yeah. Yeah.
astrology
It'll be
does.
individual for
Yeah,
sure.
that's really
Yeah.
cool because I can imagine millionaires and billionaires just paying 1,000, paying like $10,000 or 20,000, $30,000 for this is a bespoke matchmaking service that looks like a dating app
Hmm.
through
You can do business too and whatever, friends.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
what I'm basically doing is taking all the topologies, and even if you don't know what any of these are that we're talking about, I want to combine them all and just like based on what all of them say, it's like this is why you're a match. Here are some of the patterns you could look for, like anxious, avoidant, or whatever.
Hmm.
This is how you communicate to your partner, and just condense all that information down into something very simple for the lay person.
Tricky part of your including attachment styles is anxious people find avoidant people the most attractive, generally speaking, and vice
Yeah,
versa. Because they're complements. And this
right.
is why it increases survival and replication value because they see the world in different ways. It's like the world is this box and you're facing this wall. I'm facing the other wall. I can turn and look over my shoulder, but you always see that wall better than me because you're facing that wall. You're
Hmm.
steel genius. I'm a blaze genius.
Hmm.
So like matching people who are complements and really it's not just complements on one typology, it's like three-dimensional phase space of different typologies that put people into different angles.
Yeah.
So, like, you want someone who's maximally facing all of what's complementary to you and not identical with you. Um,
Try making an app like this. It's very hard.
yeah, well, don't tell them it's
Humans are
not done.
complicated.
Don't tell them it's not done yet.
It will be.
We'll edit that out,
I mean,
maybe.
it's never done, right? It's an
Well,
algorithm. It's always going to evolve
yeah, yeah, yeah.
infinitely.
And eventually it will put just the right ads on the app so that people spend hours and days on the app
Yes.
forever like Facebook. No, please
And
don't do
trying to
that.
manipulate people to stay on the app.
Please
No,
don't do that. Yeah. Mm.
it's an intentional app.
So like, yeah, I love the idea of di diarrhea. Just
That's
kidding.
not even close.
Amoraea. I'm sorry.
Diarrhea. Cancel
Diarrhea.
clear, not diarrhea.
I'm just playing. I'm just playing. Because I do really like it. I really like the idea of it. And I'm glad that I'm happy to be on it and send my
Cool.
people there.
So like so you know a lot about topologies. Which topologies do you think would be most effective that perhaps for the viewer like they could study my app aside to get to know their partner, really choose a right partner? Which topologies do you think are the most effective for that?
Hmm. Vedic astrology expressed as love cards is the most readily accessible and the easiest to jump into. You just buy love cards by Robert Camp, I think, on Amazon Prime. Look yourself up and look whoever else you want to potentially date up. And that'll
Hmm.
give you, if not their objective soul pathway, it'll at least give you a really solid Rorschach that should reflect back to you something that's accurate enough to start to work with.
Hmm.
Um, I've found it to be generally accurate. Um, Barring that, if you also want to be successful financially or entrepreneurially, wealth dynamics, obviously,
Yeah.
there are 8 different paths. It's better to win one game than to try to play 3 different games at once and fail at all of them. So if you choose to be a steel genius, like an app designer or, create a system of systems, then you're going to win at that rather than trying to do public
Hmm.
speaking with Deb and Brandon Yeager. Or what was that other training that when I first found you? What was
No, it was a business coach that
Oh
taught
yeah.
me to speak on stage.
Oh yeah,
First
yeah.
time,
She was
yeah.
like make 10K months through speaking on from
Yeah,
stages.
yeah, yeah.
It's the only
Yeah,
time I've
he
ever
started.
sold a client out of someone else's program. I'm really
Was
proud of
that the
that.
first time?
Yeah,
Yeah.
we established
It was
our
it was well
professional
done.
connection. It was really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
Yeah. I don't think I'd ever done that before. It's a really refined skill because I really believed and still do that you shouldn't have been following that path. It's going to be much
Yeah.
easier to do what you're doing now or something like it. And being a coach in the midst of that's going to be great because
Hmm.
people are going to have their patterns and problems that come up as they're engaging with the app. And having
Yeah.
someone who, if it's a bespoke like app where you've got like maybe 1,000 people total at any time, like make it scarce where there's only a certain number of spots and the value of those spots just keeps going up.
For the coaching or the
No,
app?
well, for the app,
Why
yeah,
why limit it to 1,000 people?
because you want to actually be able to coach them
Oh,
and to
like
give
having
them
a
feedback
coaching
and
thing
yeah,
inside. Yeah, I thought about that too.
yeah,
But I'm not sure how many people would even look at.
or take all the tests. It's exhausting compared to Tinder probably already.
Yeah, there's only you don't have to take all these tests, but there's like a handful of tests
It
that I
goes
think are
better the
really
more
important.
tests you take.
Yeah, yeah. Um, and we can talk about that. But there's like two things in my mind I want to talk about.
Let's do
And am
it.
I trying to pick a path?
Yeah, no, it's fine. Choose your
But
own adventure story.
with the videos, I'm like, man, if you're on Amoraea, like, are you interested in like listening to educational videos and relationships, or even having a relationship
More
coach?
than likely
A
they
lot of
are.
people are like swiping, perhaps. You think so?
I think your
Because I
app
would
is a
love that.
premium bespoke quality experience for conscious people who are refined, intentional, and don't want to waste time on dating apps.
Yeah.
Like
What I imagine is like you match with someone and then you go on a date and you like her.
hmm,
Perhaps I can shoot you to a school community where there are coaches like you, relationship
shoot me.
coaches.
Yeah,
That's like, okay, you have your match. Now you're dating. What now, right?
here's how to do
Attachment
this.
style experts, human design, Vedic astrology.
Yeah, that's great.
So I would love because like I said, I believe and I'd love to hear your thoughts that any match could
Hmm.
work no matter what. Even if you're anxious and you're dating avoidant, if you're aware enough and
Yeah,
you have the tools, you could make it work if you love each other. Right? It's just about
and people
having those
often do.
tools.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really want my app to give you those tools too, because a lot of people don't have them.
Yeah, that's interesting because compatibility is not ultimately necessary.
Yeah.
That's what you're implying. I mean, it's
Yeah,
useful, it's fun, and we aim at it. It's okay to have compatibility, so long as compatibility doesn't have you.
exactly. And you could be completely compatible with someone, but not feel attraction, not feel love.
Yeah, so Damien talks about this. There's at least three components to a good relationship. There's polarity, which is like actual attraction. There's affinity, which is like we like the same things. And then there's cohesion,
Hmm.
which is we're able to work well together. We play well together.
What does that mean exactly? You work well
You
together.
can create something together. Like we have
Okay.
cohesion.
Like
We
a
have
like a
cohesion.
business, an idea, or an art project, or
Um, like it's not full of conflict and disarray, just trying to get things done together. Like
okay. So you see a vision, a similar vision.
it could be based in vision and values and purpose and dharma, or it could just be like we're able to engage with each other. Because like friends can have cohesion and affinity, but without polarity. Like
Right.
we
Okay.
we we work well together and we like some of the same things.
Hmm.
Um, or a friend with benefits could have like polarity, but no cohesion. Cohesion's like it is roughly are you compatible? That
Okay.
compatible, but it could be compatible for like creation, or it could be compatible for creation of a relationship and
Well, I would
approaching her
imagine
death.
values like spiral dynamics has a lot to do with cohesion, right? Because if you're orange
Yeah,
dating,
so that's where cohesion borders into affinity, because affinity is like we're oriented towards the same things. So
okay.
I don't know. I it's been a year since I studied these aspects. I just know that polarity is definitely different than cohesion, and affinity is another thing. I just don't remember them clearly enough.
Well, I'm interested in the polarity thing because that's essentially love, right? Attraction. Like, so what creates that?
So love, as Helen Fisher said in the book Why We Love, is a neurological condition wherein dopamine, norepinephrine, and serotonin are released in certain proportions once your nervous system has tuned into somebody and pair bonded with them.
Hmm.
And there's a limerence period where these chemicals are high based on like, oh my gosh, we're mating and we're going to have a child and we need to raise it just long enough so that I can go away if I'm a man. And like it's like 2 years or something. It's the honeymoon period. Um, but that's like the eliminative materialist idea of love. Like,
Right.
oh, we can reduce everything to just physical stuff.
Hmm.
For me, love is a choice. It's a decision to grant space and being after you've been granted space and being by God in you. And if you've experienced that, you know what I'm saying. You know what it means. You know how it works. You were there. We made a big birthday card for you at the Remember experience.
Yeah, that was nice.
It was because we were coming from love. We loved you so much, and you were experiencing and embodying love so much. So if somebody can touch that in them first, then love doesn't come from people, it comes through people when you tune to it. You can have it from everything and everyone, however that is showing up, and that can all grow you and evolve you. Now, the love that you started with, you were talking about initially, that I grounded in neurology and neuroscience, is more of the pair bonding, erotic love, even a little bit of, so the Greeks, they had four words. There's eros, philia, storge, and agape. Eros is like, oh, I desire you. Philia is like, all right, I respect you, I honor you, I care for you. Storge is like, I want to eat you like ice cream. It's like I love Nine Inch Nails. Um, and then agape is I'm willing to give myself for the sake of your good. I'm willing to make sacrifices, even all that I am. And this is
Mhm.
like the love of Christ, which you can't see, but he's on my wall.
God, Buddha,
Yeah, yeah,
whoever you
yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
universe.
Hitler.
No
I'm just
judgment
kidding.
here.
It's not someone who you like, but the flying spaghetti monster, perhaps.
That's what I
Um,
believe in.
all right, there you go.
Yeah.
So, um, long story short, love will not last or linger. It will leave unless you perceive a reason for being in relationship with this person beyond they jerk my ego off with significance, attention, pleasure, and
Hmm.
shared interests in a cool way. Like, and
Yeah.
that's most relationships. It's two egos come together, they give each other significance and attention until they don't, then they divorce.
Right.
Or they bounce out through a painful breakup, or they cheat on each other, whatever else. And so this is why creationship exists, and why I wrote a whole book on this, because it's like creationship is a relationship that's about more than just itself, even if it's just using your partner and being used by your partner to grow spiritually,
Hmm.
which most people in the spiritual community, conscious community, are like, oh yeah, 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 my partner's your mirror and stuff. Okay, yeah, but um, if you run away from your mirror, either you can't run away from your mirror. It's just going to show up in the next partner.
Hmm.
So the deepest depth of intimacy and fulfillment in connection and partnership is available when you bind yourself fully. Do you remember John used to show the segment from Avatar before Awaken
Avatar.
Divine Relationships?
No, I don't remember that.
So there's this where he chooses a dragon and he connects his like head stuff into the dragon,
Okay.
and then they're bonded. And so like there's a depth of intimacy that only becomes available when you commit and go all in like forever with a person. And I don't think the nervous system has the capacity to do that with more than one person at a time. I just don't.
Mhm.
If you want all that's available in connection with another person. If you just want casual sex or like, a workable route for some sort of social and sexual nutrition, okay, fine, go be polyamorous if that floats your boat. But um, yeah, there's a whole world there. So you're asking what is love, and basically how do we help people find it through apps, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
For
So
my reasons, yes.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Because these interviews are for you to grow your apps awareness, right?
Yeah,
Expand your, yeah. And in the process, share value with the rest of the world, which is
of
great.
course, yes.
That's, Russell Brunson teaches this. You don't have to be the expert; just interview the experts, and you become the expert.
That's exactly what I'm doing.
The attractive character, yeah.
Yeah,
So, yeah, I think um, it's a spiritual problem that people need to solve.
that's what I believe too.
And once they solve that, yeah, you could go be in relationship with someone who doesn't have all the things. And you could use them even better, the fewer things they have to grow spiritually. But I think people want to maximize their probability of and potential for compatibility and longevity.
Hmm.
You remember Awaken Relentless Love and Partnerships last year when I taught, I would ask, which do you want? Sex with intimacy or sex without it? Pick a hand. This one. All right. Which do you want? A relationship that has to end with a painful breakup or a relationship that never
Both.
has to end? Okay. So what most people want is sex with intimacy in a relationship that does not have to end. So whatever it takes to help mankind, civilization,
Hmm.
humanity, women too, to create that, I'm down to support and to investigate and to inquire into and add value to. Um, but I don't think it's it's an answered question yet. I mean, I look at certain relationships around me that have lasted 10 years plus and or many decades. And Kevin Crenshaw is another guy you might want to look at. He had a podcast for a while about relationships that lasted a really long time. And for the sake of like, how did they come together in the beginning? How did they find each other? What drew them
Hmm.
together?
That I'm interested in.
And if the apps can mimic or structurally algorithmatize and improve the chances of that happening,
Hmm. Yeah,
game over.
that's what I'm working on.
Yeah.
I'm basically trying to re-engineer love, which is that's hard because humans are complicated.
Just inject them with a just get a drug that mimics. Have you heard the 36 questions to cause people to fall in love?
No,
Mm.
that should be included in my app.
Well, the thing about it is you can create any amount of affinity, like depth of connection through asking these questions and sharing great answers. There's the guy I shared with you, he's got an app called Uchi. And on
Mm.
this app, it's just people asking questions
Hmm,
and sharing their answers to each other.
cool.
And instead of like ads and overwhelming feed of new content, it's just the questions. And it's apparently been tested. It's scientifically verified to improve depth of connection, usually on teams and administrations
Hmm.
or organizations. But
That can be applied to dating, of course.
what the questions
Yeah,
are, yeah,
I
for
would
sure.
imagine. Yeah.
For sure. I mean, like, it all depends on how much pain people are in when you connect with them and how hungry they are to meet their maximum match now.
Hmm.
Like, at which point, if they pay you, $500 to take 3 days worth of tests,
Won't
so,
be that long.
then then it's a great idea. I
Yeah.
mean, if it bears results and
Yeah.
fruit, which is all as good as the algorithm. So
Of course.
anyway, any other
So
questions? Go
yeah,
ahead.
so
Yeah.
I imagine you. So I'm trying to re-engineer love essentially, and so are other people. Like, what is love? It's the age-old question.
Do
So
do 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 do
do do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do
do.
do do. What is
Okay,
love?
baby,
Okay.
don't hurt
Please
me.
don't hurt me.
Okay, so that aside, okay. Yeah. So what you're basically saying is until you hear yourself and you do the inner work, you will always attract people that are not compatible, like the
Mhm.
anxious attracting the avoidant.
To some degree, you're liable for that and you're responsible for that now that you've heard it. Like now that you're aware of this, you can't go back. And success is also structural. So you don't have to fix you to get a great relationship. You just put your focus on creating the right structures,
Hmm.
agreements, a container, a frame, a weekly check-in, a Tempo Genius check-in where you're like taking the pulse of your relationship. Like anybody can be trained to skill up in relationship where they can have it be a space where relating and stuff endures. But the thought behind the app and the compatibility and the typology is that we'll improve the baseline uh, level of chances that they will stay together.
Right.
We'll increase that. So,
Uh-huh.
I
So I'm trying to find compatibility, and the
yeah.
more you're healed, and so I'm guessing what
Well,
you're saying is don't wait to be healed. You can date an avoidant if you're anxious, but just have the agreements, have the consciousness, know where you're at and where
yeah,
she's at,
yeah.
communication skills, and like I said, any relationship can work, and you learn the lessons. You trigger each other a lot,
Uh-huh.
which is good. You can look at your shadow self and perhaps be more secure, right?
Yeah.
If you're aware enough.
Yeah, what I'm seeing really is that in the phase space of conscious relating, which is a term from chaos theory, there's like three-dimensional space and you can be anywhere in this space. Like I used to say there was two different directions. You could go up towards God and then find your partner moving towards God with you, or you could go out towards humanity and find your partner, but they'll just be a reflection of whatever undone work you have going
Hmm.
on. Like they're going to have that same work undone, and they maybe are using you to run away from it themselves
Uh-huh.
too. Um, but it's actually not just that. There's like another axis where it's like there's skill in relationship. So if you have more skill in relationship, doesn't matter how close you are to God. Doesn't matter how close you are to um, people. It just matters how you can handle and hold and manage whatever it is that you create. Now, going going all the way up will get you somewhere interesting.
Mhm.
Getting all the way there and skill and relationship will also get you somewhere interesting. Going all the way there and all the way up will get you something probably really amazing.
When you say up, you mean God,
Yes. So
spirituality,
this is
spiritual.
spirituality, this is skill and relationship, and this is just like choice of receiving or creating intimacy. And I've
Mhm.
thought about this recently because I look at myself and this past year's been kind of a shit show. Sometimes it feels like a shit show. Other times it feels like real strength. We do the wrong thing so long, the right thing feels wrong. And my standards are much higher. I've had opportunities for sex with certain women, but I've chosen not to pursue it. And then there are other moments where I'm just like, man, I would really love to have sex, or I would really love, I have 5 different manifestation lists, but I've never completed the procedure. I kept printing it out and bringing it to my bed and saying, all right, now I'm going to do my recipe. And then I would get off the train at some point pursuing God more. And Christianity is particularly not well suited for people who want to have relationships that they know might end. John, at one point, he said a level 5 relationship. Christ only gave himself on the cross once. He didn't have to do it multiple times. So in the relationship, you're giving yourself entirely to your partner at level 5. I think the typology should have that too.
You should
The
just
five
have
level.
everything.
I
I
mean,
already have 12. I need like 3 more.
what? Okay. Well, so the five
Not
levels
all of
of
them exactly.
consciousness. You want to talk about this? Because I think
Yeah,
they need to
we
know.
could briefly talk about it. Yeah.
So level 1 is disoriented, living from a pool of poison and pain, hopeless, looking for a magic pill and a hero outside to save you,
Mhm.
right? And most people, they start off here, they feel powerless, they can't make their life conditions equal their blueprint, and they don't realize their blueprint was made up. We just do this. Just do this and give up. Um, most people uh, they experience this, and most people live from here. And the way to
Mhm.
get out of there is to realize, okay, well, life isn't happening to me; it's happening by me. I can make something happen within life, and I'm the one to make it happen. If it is to be, it depends on me. So I'm going to hustle, grind,
Mhm.
stress, strain, push, struggle, get to the other end of the rainbow. Where someday, if I met forced my life conditions to match my blueprint, then I'll be happy.
So that's like the Donald Trumps of this world, like the
The
hustlers,
millionaires, the
who live
billionaires,
about forever.
yeah, the
Pickup artists are like this too. And we'll hustle, meet women, talk to as many women as possible. And
yep,
someday, some way, I'll get sex, build the skill set, whatever it is.
get a wife, get a
Yeah.
life.
Which
Yeah.
isn't bad. The skill
And
set is
everybody
good.
needs
You have to
to go
go
through
build
this
it.
level.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But the problem is you're always going to want more, better, different, no matter what wife
Right.
you have, what life you've created. And so the inability to be so goal orientation is level 2. So you're reaching for something. And then level 1 is like hopeless. It's just like not even reaching.
Victim.
And then level 3 is journey oriented. Have you got what's the most recent movie you went to see?
I haven't seen a movie in a while.
All right, well, I saw Tron Ares and it was awesome. Highly recommend. Go watch it. I've only seen it twice. And the final scene was pretty cool. But I didn't go to to movie just to see the final scene. I went to experience the whole journey from the beginning through to
Hmm.
the end. That's what life is. We're here to experience every moment on the journey. Everything that happens is perfect. Everything that happens is
Hmm.
for a reason. It all works for good.
There's no destination, only the journey.
There's only the way. Yeah, happiness is not, there's no way to happiness. Happiness is the path.
Hmm.
And so,
Being on the path is happiness.
yeah, we choose it, we receive it, we honor it, we activate this diarrhea app and we get better
That,
relationships. I'm sorry, I'm gonna keep saying no, maybe I
stop
won't.
saying that.
Amoraea.
People are gonna go to diarrhea.com.
Diarrhea.
Diarrhea.
It's specific. It's my app that seeks maximal incompatibility
Yeah.
between people. How to find your enemy through
He's my
swiping.
competitor. Yeah.
It's like a supervillain. It's like, Superman's gotten bored and he needs to find Lex Luthor somehow. It's like, there's my guy.
I'm on diarrhea.
Diarrhea. Will help you today.
Making your life a little more interesting.
Want to
Download
make life a
diarrhea.
lot harder and a little more interesting. Yeah. Um, but so level 3, once you're fill up on bliss and fundamental well-being, and you realize that everything is perfect, then you come out and overflow into the world, value oriented. Like I'm here, if everything happens for a reason and all things work for good, then maybe so do I. Maybe
Hmm.
I'm supposed to give who I am. And serve. So I'm not trying to get anything from anyone. I'm just here to give.
Hmm.
And then level five is like, all right, well, um, maybe if I'm here to give, something bigger and better and stronger and smarter than me knows how to give me the gift that I am better than I do. You
Hmm.
can't see the picture while you're inside of it. Maybe there is something that can. That's God. That's infinite intelligence. That's your intuition.
So that's what you surrender to. The
That's what you
person
surrender
that can
to.
see the picture, which is
Yeah.
God, higher self, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah. So relationships are different, and the app could be approached at these different levels. Some people just feel completely powerless. And they're
Hmm.
like, I want to outsource this, which doesn't work with marketing agencies, by the way. Doesn't work. I want somebody else to do it for me, and then they don't know how to do it either. And you spent
Hmm.
$6,000 and it didn't work.
Yeah.
I'm sorry,
Yeah.
that's the thing that
Living
happened.
trauma.
That's the thing that happened to me. Then there's level two, which is like, I will make it happen.
Uh-huh.
Then level three is like, okay, well, it doesn't matter if it happens or not, but it'd be cool. And
Yeah.
level four is it's gotta happen because I am meant to be connected to and produce more when I serve. There was a statistic recently that talked about how CEOs and like really successful business people tend to be married, like the ones who have longevity and entrepreneurship,
Interesting.
because they have support and they're nurtured in their journey, in their gifts, and provided for and secure. And then there's level five, which is like, okay, well, God is using me to support you, and God is using you to support me in a way that we can't predict or anticipate. So it's not going to look anything like what we might have planned on, but it will be interesting and entertaining to some degree, and also heart-wrenching and painful.
Hmm.
But yeah, I bring this up to say that people's orientation to the app and their different levels of consciousness will impact their capacity to get results, their
Yeah.
vibration, their faith, their frame, their mindset.
So how would you measure something like this?
Test them, test them
Is there
for
a
where
written
there
test
are
of it?
tests. Yeah,
Okay.
John, I think made a test for
Oh, you
where
did.
somebody is. Yeah.
Gotcha.
So you can take the test and then they'll know where they're at. And then like you kick people off who are at level two and below.
Yeah.
Like just we don't want your
Sorry,
kind here.
bro.
Your application has been rejected for
Yeah, actually, maybe it should be application based. I never thought about that because I
yeah.
can't have. It'll be
Well, then you
hard to
could
match
charge
someone
more.
who's super neurotic
You could
and
charge more.
super
You could be
anxious.
like, you must be at least $500,000 per year because it's going to be 10 grand
Yeah.
to be on this app, but it'll be one of the greatest experiences of your life in dating and relating.
But I also don't want to connect money to like consciousness because there's very broke
Oh,
people
wait.
who are
Yeah, and that's
very
the problem.
conscious.
There are broke people who are very conscious. Yeah, but they're level three. They
Is
have
the mo amount of money you have like is a level five person rich?
I'm of the opinion that you don't have to be rich to be at level five, but if you're wanting to give your gifts at the maximum level, there's no margin, no mission. We don't vote at the polls, we vote with our dollar bills. So whatever goodness is in somebody at level four or five, it gets multiplied when they thrive financially, ideally
Mhm.
through a business or some kind of vessel or vehicle or channel for them to get their gifts out there.
Well, that's assuming God or higher self
It
wants
wants them to
you
do that. Maybe
to
it doesn't.
because
Maybe it
that's a
wants
very
them to just
mind
go
thing,
be
right? It's
a
like a very 3D thing. It's like,
narcissistic,
oh,
autistic, navel gazing in a mountainous cave. Yeah, it's fine if they want to do that. I mean,
well,
that's
no,
cool
but
too.
maybe if you're surrendering to God, He
It could
wants you
be.
to just be a wandering monk and just maybe the one
I have
person
a
you
friend
give
who
your
does that.
gift
He's living on
to.
a boat right now.
Yeah, maybe, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're truly surrendered, maybe you don't need them. Because I've met personally like very enlightened people and
Yeah.
very loving people that,
Yeah.
they have some money, of course. They're not like
Yeah.
homeless, but
Yeah.
they're not
Your
like
coach who
super
gave you
rich
the thing,
either.
right? The
What
heart
thing?
thing. You
No, I
used to
bought
wear
that
that.
online.
Oh.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. But I just just people. I'm sure you met them too, right?
I'm sure they exist.
Yeah. I mean, you can look at the sages in India, like Maharaji and these saints who, I mean, he walks around with a blanket and just asks for food, and people give him food because
I
he's a
can't even
saint.
conceive of a life like that.
Yeah, I
Well, the
mean,
pursuing spirituality.
and yet people look into his eyes and they're just filled with love,
Oh,
whoever
yeah,
they're
that's
around
great.
him. It's crazy. And he doesn't have a lot of money. So I mean, I don't know what level
Yeah,
he's probably
John in the Remember Experience puts on this song that says there's some people who are so poor that all they have is money. Remember
like
that?
that.
I love
No, I
that
don't
song.
remember that.
Yeah, yeah.
That's cool though.
Yeah, yeah. Um,
So you're saying like if a level five person can't date a level four or a level three, you should date in your level. Like, how do we apply this to dating?
yeah, I think it's useful because if you're trying to, there's the wizard muggle divide here, where like somebody at level 2 can like, and
Yeah.
then the level 1 just falls in a line. Or level
All
3
right.
has more, like literally level 3 or level 4 has more power
Uh-huh.
over some or with someone from the previous level. They have more capacity than the one
More
who's at the lowest.
capacity to influence.
More capacity to influence, more resilience, more self-reliance and locus of control internally.
Right, because it just have more energy. They're
Yeah,
just like letting go. It's like, oh, I feel angered. They don't make a judgment. It's like, oh,
yeah,
okay, cool. And
yeah,
instead of resisting, which loses energy, and you're just like relaxing all the
yeah.
time.
So what kind of relationship do you want to be with, and with someone who's just trying to serve themselves when you're trying to serve the world? Probably not.
Hmm.
A relationship where they're just trying to serve the world while you're trying to serve God as you serve the world? Like, probably not. Though I've explored that. That's the one variety that I think could work. There could be compatibility there because they could be walking the same direction for different reasons
Hmm.
alongside each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, can a level one and a level one date?
Yeah,
Because they'll just be like super victim
sure.
mindset.
I mean, and that's why 50% of marriages end in divorce. I
That's
mean,
true.
they just
That's
super
true.
victim at each other after they use each other as heroes for a
Yeah.
period. Um,
The model kind of reminds me of spiral dynamics too.
mm,
It's not like a one-to-one map, but your level two reminds me of orange stage spiral
huh.
dynamics, which is it's a spiral dynamics
Might makes right.
is values,
Yeah.
measure of values. So each stage has different values, and in your system sounds the same, similar, right? So level two would value like discipline, hard work, stuff like that to get an outcome.
Yeah.
And green stage, which is the next stage, would surrender more to spirituality, just a hippie, spiritual, conscious
Well,
person.
then you get to teal, right? It's
And
the
then
ideal.
yellow, and that's tier one, and the tier two is
Oh,
yellow and turquoise, which yellow, because the problem with green stage and orange stage, there's many stages below that, but society is mostly in orange and blue stage. Blue
yep.
stage is very religious. Um,
Orange is
so
very scientific,
Right.
entrepreneurial
But the
driven.
problem is each color judges each other. It's like the religious person judges the Donald Trumps of this world and be like, oh, God doesn't want you to do that.
It'd be
Donald
cool
Trump
if your
judges the
app
spiritual people.
could make it impossible for someone to see someone outside of their level, like to where it's just complete harmony with their level of values and capacity. Like you only would match with someone.
Yeah, well, I mean, you could date in different because no one's just one stage. There's
Oh,
a range. Like
oh, and
you're
probably
part
they're in
of
different stages depending on different areas of their life too.
right. There's an evolution. Like ours, the pickup artist
The
stage is the
typology
one
broke.
stage.
It's broken.
Why? What happened?
Because if it's multiple stages in multiple areas, then what's the point of matching them in any of the areas?
Well, you could be 80% blue, 20% orange,
Hmm.
right? And so you might not vibe with someone who's green stage or like mostly orange. You need someone who's has a good amount of blue so you connect so that person understands why you're really religious or
Hmm.
whatever. So you kind of need that connection. And then tier two is a stage where it's like so they all judge each other. Um, but tier two is like, oh, okay. They really integrated everything, which is level four kind of, or maybe
Maybe
level five. This is
close.
where
Maybe
it
yeah,
gets kind of, not one to one,
yeah.
but essentially it's the study of values,
Hmm.
which I think is cool. Like a lot of these systems kind of overlap.
Hmm.
So that's why I'm not using all of them. I have to see where that system can bring a unique value to the app or other people.
Which would you say is the best system of typology? For me, it was like Vedic astrology and love cards, but
I'm very impressed by human
I
design.
knew it.
Yeah.
I hear it before you
I've
said
been
it.
Yeah, because it seems like I'm not an expert at it, but from the people I talk to, it seems like it does integrate some things from both dynamics, comes from astrology, can predict compatibility based on how many centers are defined. You have 9-0, nothing to do, 8-1, have some fun, like best friends. So that's how many centers you have defined. If you combine the two charts, and oftentimes if you're a healthy individual, you're attracted to people who complete your chart,
Huh.
as in have all centers defined when you combine your two charts.
I'm definitely going to be using your app.
Yeah, it's really cool. And so what I like about that is the problem with most tests is that people can be biased. But with human design, you just put in your birthday, time of birth, and it's based on astrology, so it pulls all this information. And
Hmm.
it, like we said, love is to me and you, there's a spiritual aspect to it too, right?
Hmm.
So human design uses that. And if you're not a spiritual person, you can opt out of human design or use other stuff because not everyone knows their birth time anyway. So
Hmm.
it kind of has to be optional. But I believe to get the best match, you have to add a spiritual component into it, or
Hmm.
God, whatever. And I think human design is that thing. And it's also
Hmm.
very practical because it also tells you how you use your energy, how you relate with others, how you see the world. It's very nuanced. It's very complicated. I like it. And attachment styles is, of course, very cool.
Huh.
Like, I think that's definitely like I would say human design and attachment styles. If you can learn anything. I mean, human design itself is like a whole like,
Yeah.
lifelong journey.
Yeah.
But at least know your attachment style, I would say.
What about gene keys?
I haven't studied gene keys a lot. I hear it comes from human design, the person who was inspired by human
Hmm.
design, but
Interesting.
I really can't speak much on it. I have not
Huh.
found an expert at gene keys anyway, so I don't know how popular it is.
Just reach out to Richard Rudd, the guy who wrote the
That the guy who
book.
wrote the book?
Yeah.
That's a good idea. I didn't think of that.
Yeah. Um, what about Enneagram?
Enneagram is really cool,
Yeah,
but what I found is Enneagram, it's more of a way to grow. Like you would, if you, I'm a five, I don't know what Enneagram you are, but let's say you're a seven. Um, I wouldn't
probably.
I wouldn't look for yes, probably. You don't even know what a seven is.
No, I took the test or took a test recently, and I think they gave me back 7. It was either
Okay.
7 or 2.
Well, I just made up a number, so okay.
Oh,
But you're not supposed to be
strong
like
intuition.
yeah, you're not supposed to be like, oh, I'm a five, I'm gonna date a nine or an eight or whatever, right?
Oh.
Because any type can date each other if they're healthy, which comes from attachment styles. If you're a secure base, I would
Yeah,
assume,
yeah, yeah.
right? It's the same thing. So, but what Enneagram does have, which is interesting, is instincts, which is fascinating to me. So every type has an instinct, or no, instinct is separate than it's kind of like a separate thing. It was added
Hmm.
later. But there is self-preservation, which is someone who's like they're not as adventurous. They'll stay inside. You can say they're more introverted, right? I think that's me. I haven't taken the test though.
Hmm.
Self-preservation, and then there's a sexual person, and it doesn't have to do with sex, but this person is more adventurous. This person is more out there. She's gonna want to, you know, go out and travel all the time. They're always seeking adrenaline, seeking adventure.
Hmm.
And so if you hook up that person with a self-preservation, it might be harder. That may not be a compatibility. But I mean, if you're a self-preservation that's looking to be more adventurous, it could be good, right? It depends on what kind of relationship you want to create.
Yeah, that's there's a whole spectrum or range of what is desirable to experience in relationship to someone else. So like it's not just single and looking for a fuck buddy or single and looking for long-term life partner or marriage or wife or whatever, like because nobody has to be looking for any of those specific things. They could be looking for any of these different things.
Hmm.
And so your algorithm has kind of a more difficult job at that point because now it's looking to find different angles or vectors of compatibility per
Yeah,
person's
humans are infinitely
constellation
complicated,
of
so
data.
yeah, my algorithm is trying to solve it.
Well, I
But
mean, so long as your algorithm is infinitely complicated, it'll be
yeah,
fine.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
And in a black box where
yeah,
no one can see
yeah.
it but
My
you.
secret algorithm.
Yeah.
But yeah, ultimately, I'll. What would be cool is like if the user could, and this is like a version three or whatever, but if the user could like just say what relationship they want to create.
Well, they'll
And
have
then
to.
it's
Yeah.
like based on blah, 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 and create it. Like I don't want to date a
Actually,
self-preservation person.
it'd be really cool if your app could tell people who they are, like what
Yeah,
is
we'll do
best for
that.
them.
Yeah.
Because like if my because you mentioned that some people with human design are more likely to be polyamorous or something, where it's going to be
Yeah,
easier
based
for
on
them.
how many lines are connected. If you're a split, then the more essentially there are lines in human design, and
Yeah.
if a lot of them are disconnected, you're gonna look for someone to complete those lines. And usually one person can't complete all your lines if a lot of them are disconnected. They call those triple splits and quadruple splits, which is a vast minority of people, by the way.
But still,
Yeah,
if you can
it's
find those
possible.
people, you'll tell them, "Hey, I'm sorry, we can't give you a wife that'll work, but we can give you multiple partners here in your
Yeah.
matches."
And what's interesting too, and according to human design, is some people are supposed to meet their partner through friends. Some people are supposed to meet their partner doing the things they love. That's me, by the way. Like maybe a coffee shop or
Yeah,
an event. And some people are can go out and meet people wherever.
interesting.
So that can be built in the app too. So there's a lot of things.
Um, can this power be taught?
What power?
I'm trying to
It-
quote Revenge of the Sith. Can can one learn this power? You know, because human design. It sounds fascinating.
yeah.
Every time I've gotten into it, it's revealed me to myself. But I've never been with someone long enough who knows it well enough to embody fully a shift of my focus and values to align with those awareness. Does that
Hmm.
make sense? And if your
Yeah.
app could do that for people on all these vectors, like here's who you truly are as a genius, as an expression, as a gift, as a flavor or color of the rainbow in the world. Be
Yeah.
more of that, then it'll make them more attractive. Their vibration will be more magnetic. Your app will work better just energetically. No matter how
Yeah.
bad the algorithm, cancel clear, no matter how good the algorithm is, it'll be better when they're energetically in alignment.
I mean, we're taught and trained to not be who we're authentically are supposed to be, quote unquote.
Uh-huh.
Because according to human design, projectors, for example, they're supposed to wait for an invitation. So if you're a guy and you're a projector and you're going off doing the pickup artist thing and approaching girls in the street, you would never like meet you might have sex, you might have fun, but you would never meet your partner and would never be effective in that way because you're a projector. You're supposed to, your energy is to study of energy. Your energy is in a way where if you just sit where you are, your energy will, people around you will feel a pull towards you
Mm.
to ask you out, invite you out to even business stuff. So you're supposed to sit and wait. And that's very hard for a lot of men to hear.
It is. It is.
But we're
It's
trained
hard to
to,
do.
as men, that, oh, we're supposed to go after, we're supposed to ask the girl
The
out.
entire pickup artist
It's,
community, yeah.
yeah. And I mean, even before that, men are supposed to make the move. If you're a projector,
Well,
right?
here's the thing. Do you know a dating coach who incorporates this awareness into their teaching of people?
I don't know a dating coach, but I know people per se
We
who
need someone.
incorporate.
Someone needs to become that coach. I mean, it could be you. It could be
Yeah.
you if you get good enough at human design.
Yeah.
You just
I
get
mean, I'm sure
certified or
there
something.
are. Yeah, I'm sure there's people that incorporate human design
Find
in their
them.
dating coach.
Find them and I will pay them large quantities of
Yeah.
money.
So I'm selling on you too, huh?
What's that?
I'm starting to sell you on human design too, huh?
Yeah, yeah, it
Yeah,
sounds
it's
like
pretty
it.
cool. Yeah, it's very complicated. And then there's also something else that I just recently found out about called astrocartography. Have you heard of this?
Uh-uh.
So this is also based on astrology, and it's a topology that based on how the planets align, like when you're born, the planets align a certain way. Where if you draw a ruler to like Jupiter to Earth and Saturn to Earth, those lines, those straight lines intersect. And that's where you're energetically um I don't want to say the best place to live because certain lines
They
mean
move.
certain things, like it's love or like
Oh.
it's business. You might be in a one if you're
So
close
have
to
your
one
business in
line.
China, but have your beloved
Yeah,
in
something
Ireland.
like this. It's actually very complicated, and there's
So
a list
become a
of
millionaire
places
so
you
you
can
can live it
live.
out.
But essentially, it uses astrology to figure out where the most optimal place for you to live is.
That's cool.
Yeah, based on the energies of the
You should
planet and stuff.
definitely incorporate that.
Yeah, because if two people don't share the same locations, but then I also run into the problem of like if you're in Austin, for example, and you're not supposed to live in Austin, where all your matches are going to be in Austin. So like, are you just screwed? But it's not like
There's,
wrong. You can make any place you live correct. Like my astrocartography or whatever, cartography, I don't want to live in any of those places,
yeah.
at least right now.
Yeah, well, maybe you will when you
Yeah,
mature,
like I'm
when
or whatever.
when you align with your spiritual truth.
Yeah.
Integral Relationships: A Manual for Men by Martin Uchik.
Oh, I did read that book.
You did?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I have to read it again. It was very dense.
Well, when you get your
180
algorithm,
pages.
just get it to read the PDF. I mean,
Yeah, it's a good idea. Yeah. And that book, by the way, matches people based on power dynamics. It's like, okay, this is
okay, yeah.
an orange stage, this is a green stage. It's
Yeah,
like
it's really
50,
fun. It's really
50.
interesting. I enjoyed the third of it that I got through. I got close to half maybe, but
Yeah.
and
I
then
had
I
to
got
push
overwhelmed. I
myself.
was like, this
Yeah.
is exhausting.
Yeah. Even for me.
And
And I love power dynamics.
you're a steel genius.
Yeah. It's a
Yeah.
hard one. But it's a good one if you want to learn more about relationships and if you're a nerd like me.
So I'm gonna say I'm not the expert in attachment theory, but the expert in attachment theory said this about my book. He said the writing was delicious and poetic. The book was an insightful arc of hope, possibility, trials, and tribulations, engaging deeply with the decision to make yourself better through the journey of relationship. And if you want a copy of another call to action here, you can let me know
Yeah.
through his podcast or mine and
Yeah, put it in the
comment below, and I'll
description.
make sure you get a copy.
Put your website in the description and any resources we talked about here in the description below.
That'll be your job
It's my job.
to link those resources.
Don't forget to review, like,
Share,
comment,
subscribe.
share,
Actually,
subscribe.
as your former business coach, best to give them one instruction rather than 10.
I know this. My outro tells them to review, so
Oh,
just one
that's
thing.
great.
So
That's great.
that's
Yeah, I
it.
see. So I was moving it to a close because on Dropbox, it'll automatically transcribe the audio file for me,
Hmm.
so long as it's under 90 minutes.
Ah, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'll probably break this episode into two parts. It's pretty long.
Oh,
But it
yeah.
was fun.
Yeah, I'll say
It was
this.
fun.
As your former dating coach, as your former business coach, and as your current friend,
I paid him a lot of
you did.
money.
And you got a lot of value?
Invested a lot of money. Yeah,
Did you?
yeah.
All right, so
I
you
would
got a lot of value.
recommend him,
All
formally
right.
recommend him.
Thank you.
He's a,
Thank you. I appreciate you.
yeah.
I recommend him and his app to anybody and everybody who's coaching with me in
I
the
even
dating
have a
relationship thing.
testimonial. Yeah.
What's that?
I even
Yeah.
have a testimonial, I think, on the website.
That's
So,
what you wanted. That's
yeah.
what you asked me for, and you finally found a way to get it. You
It's
clever
from Hotline.
motherfucker. No, no, I'll say this. This Amoraea, I got it right, is going an amazing direction. Like for you, existentially, spiritually, I think it really ties. Can
Yeah.
you feel this? Because this is what I'm seeing anyway.
Yeah, I feel a lot more aligned in this because I actually used to be a dating coach too. And I had my own frustrations
Yeah.
with dating. I was in pickup
With
artist.
coaching too.
Coaching, dating apps too. It never really worked for me. And I had the best pictures. I'd hired the
Sometimes we
guy.
remember that there's a camera watching us over here.
Yeah.
This is very little in this podcast, but hi.
And I hired the guy he was talking about, the photographer. And I didn't I had really so I had a really good
Oh yeah,
picture.
I didn't get
And
very good results
I
with
didn't get any results
him
either.
either. That
Right.
we're one of three different people I know. But anyway, we vote his
Yeah.
victory because he's changed his brand. He's doing something
Yeah.
different now.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
and then there's also you worked with Steve Maeda. What was that like? I vote victory for him. He's the best in authenticity-based seduction on the planet that I have
Hmm.
found. But it's still kind of level two, maybe level three-ish.
Yeah, I would like to see more. I think he's got a lot of good structural things, like what to do, what to say, but I don't see a lot of
Heart.
emotional navigation tools, heart. And for me, I think some people could benefit from it. But for me, his calls were very group calls. All of them were group calls.
Hmm.
I could have paid him one-on-one, but he doesn't really market that. But essentially, I'd like to see more one-on-one work with him.
He's brilliant. You get him into a boot camp.
Yeah, like he's.
Did you ever attend one?
I did go to it wasn't really a boot camp. He's more about be social, right?
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Well,
not about, direct
he used to
pick
do
your yeah.
workshops and they were like 5 days long. And I will never forget being at, I think it was like Hooters in North Austin. And we were having a conversation at this table. And there was like a waitress he was talking to or something.
Yeah.
And then after that conversation concluded, he told us exactly everything that was happening at the other table. Like he could
Wow.
literally hear two conversations and process them at once. And I was like,
That's
what manner of
genius.
magic is this?
Wow.
That guy, someone should turn that guy into a chat GPT algorithm.
I feel like he has so much potential, but he's not able to like condense it in a way to share it in an effective way.
Is
You
he
know what I
still
mean?
doing TSL or is he
Yeah,
just
he does
coaching divorced
TFL.
dads? Okay.
I think he's moving more towards divorced dad
Yeah.
because that's his passion, I think.
Which I honestly, again, I vote his victory. This is the second time he's manifested losing his kids to an angry, like, ex-wife. So it's
Oh, really?
like, yeah. So there's probably something going on that his system does not account for and does not
Uh-huh.
see. So you're the one who hears it. I'm saying this as a committed conversation because you could approach him and be like, hey, I think you might have something in your subconscious. Can I help? Because you're a trained
Hmm.
NLP coach
Hmm.
and I love him.
Hmm.
He's an amazing human being.
Yeah, I think he has a good heart.
Yeah.
I mean, he meets a lot of people. He has friends all over, right?
He's
So he
great at
can't
photography,
career
cinematography.
photography. Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, he doesn't charge a lot too for what he offers.
Yeah.
Charges like nothing.
Yeah.
So he has a good heart.
You got a full year for what? Sorry, we should be talking about it in front
It
of
was like
somebody, other
1,000.
coaches.
Yeah,
What?
maybe 1,000.
What? A year of because he gives like 12-hour group calls three days a
Yeah.
week.
But the problem is the group calls are you don't get a lot of attention.
Yeah, yeah,
So I felt like I just didn't feel like he was committing to my success. I mean, he was committing to my I did feel that, but I didn't get a lot of attention, right? So
yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, I recently realized the absolute unmitigated necessity of having one-on-one coaching because group coaching
yeah.
programs, I mean, like they deliver value, but in terms of real long-time, lifetime transformation and fundamentally pivoting your identity, nothing like one-on-one, which I charge between five and $10,000, depending on who you are and what you want to create, your high-powered relationship. You want to be good at your relationship. Your wife is ignoring you and you're not getting laid. You want like the most epic sex life ever.
Hmm.
Like I'm happy to help with any of these things. And my
Great.
full resource list and who I am and everything that I've got is in service to you. Let me know what this app needs. And
Awesome. Yeah, I
yeah,
would love to have your coaching services on my app, like I said, the school group or however I choose to do it.
yeah,
So if you like this podcast, if you like Lewis's stuff, there's definitely going to be more coaches like him that are heart-centered, loving, authentic, in the human design world, topology world. That's
make
what I'm looking for.
make really stylized t-shirts that say I believe in Amoraea and I will wear one.
Yeah, man. I actually want to make pamphlets and just like hand them out because
Yeah.
people are like, I
Well,
talked
that's
about it,
exciting.
and I'm like, yeah, it's Amorea, but I feel like people just forget about it.
Well,
And it's like,
you
here,
get them
here's
on a
the here's the
list.
thing.
You say you get, 20% discount on the first month if you sign up right now. Here's you just get them on the list and
Oh,
then they'll
oh, you're right. I should take their information down and put them in the database myself.
it's a
That's a
Blaze
good idea.
genius talking to a steel
That's a
genius.
good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's still my business coach.
Kind
Always
of.
giving me value.
Should I charge you some more money for business coaching around
Yes, you
this? Do you
should.
want? I'm okay. We're gonna have that conversation offline. Um,
Okay. Thanks for tuning in to the Amorea podcast. Is there anything else you want to say?
it's not diarrhea.
Not diarrhea.
It's
It's
Amorea.
Amorea.
And I believe in Amorea. And I am honored to
Me
be
too.
here. I'm so pleased. Thank you for
Me
having
too.
me
Thank
on,
you for
man.
having yourself on my own podcast.
All right. And
Okay.
don't like, don't share, don't subscribe,
Don't do
but
that
do
at
comment
all.
below.
Yeah. Go to amorea.com.
It's been
AMORE.com.
fun.
All right. Ciao, everyone.